Hi, my name is Regina Klenjoski. I am the choreographer for Someone's Got You in Their Prayers Tonight. I have a company that was created in Southern California 17 years ago, and 2 years ago moved it to Wichita. I create original work. I work with composers, film designers, costume designers to create original work for stage and for site-specific events. And working with Someone's Got You in Their Prayers Tonight was an extraordinary experience because we were able to create not just for film and camera, but also to be able to shoot it in this really amazing, unusual space in downtown Wichita. My inspiration for the work was the words in the song and what the meaning behind the song was, thematically distilled down to the idea of struggle versus release. And we took that into the studio with the dancers, two very talented dancers, Randy and Lauren. They were a joy to work with because they were extremely gifted movers. They were very curious performers, which always makes for a really wonderful artist to work with. So we took the idea of struggle versus release into the studio, and I created phrases based on my interpretation of those feelings and those ideas, and then put them on the dancers, and then we adapted from there based on how they were expressing what they were bringing to the movement. And then from that point we had about 6 or 7 different phrases that were connected in a linear way in the studio, but once we went into the space, we allowed the space to inform the movement, and we were able to break up the movement, and depending on what was needed, where Evan was and how he was responding to the movement. It was really fantastic in the space during the shoot because in the moment we decided to put some of that movement on Evan. I wish we could have done more of that, maybe in the next video. I really enjoy my work. I couldn't imagine doing anything else. Creating movement, teaching dancers, putting something on stage that was born from nothing but an idea is a thrill for me, and it's the way I communicate to the world. It's my favorite way, and it's my most effective way to share and communicate ideas, thoughts, universal connections. I really think that movement is a way to connect with others. I think it's probably our most primal way of connecting. It's universal in that you don't need language, you just need body language. And so I think that's what appeals to me most about trying to tell a story through movement. It's also a challenge because you don't have the words. And so I think that also is exciting because then it's a way to distill down what you're saying to the most raw core idea of what you want to get across. So the section in the video where Lauren is lying down and is going through movement in a different plane, how we created that was we took a phrase that was actually a standing phrase, a dance section that she did standing. We took that phrase and we had her explore on the floor. And I took my iPhone and shot her from above to see what the effect would be, to see if it was worth continuing with that. And it ended up being one of my favorite moments in the dance because I think it expressed that internal struggle really clearly. It put her in another place. It put her in a kind of a fantasy place, whether you want to imagine that being someplace internal, someplace where she's asleep, dreaming. But that really was the climax of her struggle at that section. That's what we were trying to go for. I think when I create movement, I have my own ideas about it, and I have the impetus and the inspiration of what created it, and even what I want to get out of it as I watch the piece. But once it's out there, once it's on a stage or in a video or in whatever space it's being performed, it does become the audience's experience and their interpretation. So there's certainly something that I get when I watch it, but I think when an audience watches the video, there's so many access points to that piece of art, whether it's Evan's words or the way he's singing or the way the movement is put together or the expression from the dancer or the special effects of the video. There are a lot of different pieces that a person can take away and have their own feelings about and their own thoughts, and it's going to affect us all differently. I think that the most important job I have as an artist is to create something that touches you, that affects you.